Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Man Bites Film. This week we are going to be obviously in the spirit of what do you call it, Valentines Day and all that stuff. I wanted to review two romantic comedies. The first one that I want to go straight into is Grosse Pointe Blank. This is a 1997 film with John Cusack, Minnie Driver, and Dan Aykroyd. This actually follows the story of John Cusack, which is an assassin, a hired man that he is assigned and runs a business to kill people. And Dan Aykroyd is another assassin as well that is basically doing the same thing, and he wants to build a coalition. And it starts off with some very funny exchanges between Dan Aykroyd and John Cusack, and it basically develops into him going to basically like a class reunion. It doesn't really tell us what which it's the 10-year, 20-year, whatever the case is. But he ends up getting convinced by his secretary, which is John Cusack's sister, to go to the high school reunion. And also he has to do a job there, which makes up for some funny little back and forth between the secretary, him, and Dan Aykroyd. And it's the beginning starts off very quick paced, very quick-witted dialogue, badass soundtrack, just awesomeness all around, and it takes that across the whole film, in my opinion. I really enjoy this film. If you enjoy the romantic comedies, a little bit darker comedy, this is the type of film that you will enjoy, and it's a film that you could enjoy with your girlfriend, significant other, whatever the case is, and a guy could also enjoy this type of film. And it has a little bit of everything for everybody. The love interest in this film is actually Minnie Driver, and she is gorgeous in 1997. Just freaking gorgeous. And John Cusack and her used to be an old flame and all that stuff, and since he's going back to the high school reunion, there's some interesting stories that develop on what happened and how he disappeared from the town, basically. And it's a very awesome chemistry between them two in this film. For the hour and 47 minutes that it goes on, you don't get bored for a single second. If it doesn't have an awesome scene with one of them three main characters, it has awesome music in between, it has interesting plot, little side developments. It builds a world, and it builds it correctly. It gives you the backstory of all three characters enough that you actually care about these three characters by the end of the film. And the climax of the film is a perfect build-up of tension, comedy, and just all-out, like, wow factor. It's obviously, it's a stretch, a lot of the things that go on in this film, but you can't take this type of film seriously. Don't take it, as like a very like heavy drama or anything like that. It's not. It's a comedy. It's a romantic comedy. It's not meant to be taken seriously. It's a fun film. So enjoy it as that. This one is streaming on Netflix. It's very easy access. I give this one an 8 out of 10, and it is one of my personal favorites of Cusack. And as you all know, if you don't already, I am a huge Cusack fan. And the next film that I want to review is another John Cusack film. Serendipity. This is a 2001 film with Kate Beckinsale and Jeremy Piven. Yeah. It's an hour and 30 minutes running, and this stars John Cusack and Kate Beckinsale. And it's about just chance encounters. It's basically revolves around Cusack's character and Kate's character. They run into each other in the middle of Christmas frenzy in New York, and they both choose out the same pair of gloves. And because their immediate conversation sparks this like very interesting dynamic, very interesting, I don't know how to express it, but other than the fact that it's just awesomeness. It's a chemistry right from the get-go, from the moment they meet each other to the moment they like move away from each other. The chemistry just keeps building between them, and this is only one night that they encounter each other. and Kate's kind of one of these new age girls and all that stuff, and believes in chance and all that stuff, and John's like more realistic, more down to earth. And Kate's like, let's leave this to chance, because they both have boyfriends and girlfriends. So they're kind of like, you know, this kind of messed up that we're seeing each other like this, and, you know, we're kind of falling for each other in one night, in less than a few hours. And she's like, you know what, let's leave it up to chance. Let's do this, let's do that, let's do that. And they basically challenge fate to bring them back together. And they do, twice. And if it wasn't for some little crazy little devil kid, they would have found each other again. But they don't. So, skip a few years later in a very interesting montage, very cool. I liked it. It's one of the few times that I see like that aging montage that's done very well. So this film does that very well with that aging montage. I enjoyed it. And then John Cusack's getting married, not to Kate, to another woman. And Jeremy Piven is John Cusack's best friend at the time. He's actually, what do you call it? He writes obituaries for a newspaper. And Cusack is like, I don't know what to do. I love her, but I have this woman in my mind that I only saw once in my life. And then Kate's doing the exact same thing across the country in San Francisco. Same exact scenario breaks down for her. And they're trying to find the mementos that they wrote their name and phone number in, and trying to find each other again. And Cusack goes on a mission, and so does Kate, trying to look for him, and her trying to look for him, for, you know, they're trying to find each other, basically, trying to go and against all odds trying to find each other. And all these crazy events happen, all these crazy encounters, awesome characters, little side characters that are just freaking hilarious. It's a very comedic movie. This one is a little bit more for the chicks, but I enjoyed it. I really liked it. I give this one an 8 out of 10. And it's streaming on Netflix, so it's easy access. So if you guys are going to be sitting at home watching movies, Grosse Pointe Blank, Serendipity, definitely recommend these guys. They're very good movies, and I really hope you guys get a chance to check both of these out for this weekend, and possibly for after Valentine's Day, maybe, you know. Next week we're going to do another episode that's going to be a little bit of Valentine's Day, but a little bit more as well. So I'll see you guys next week.